All right, today is September 20th, and we are going to do a little recap of this weekend's past foundation training. It was so awesome, and I thank Melissa Hunt and Katie Lefton and Ashley for being there. I am so glad that they came all there, traveled from afar to be with us. It was really, really a fun and meaningful day. So, oh good, Melissa's on. I am going to actually start just by letting a few of them share their takeaways from the weekend. So you may want to have a pen and paper in hand. Maybe they'll say something that really sticks and resonates with you, or maybe you will be listening to them and have a question about what they're talking about. So let's let each person talk one by one, and after each person talks, I'll open it up for some questions. So we'll start with Katie.
So I love the meeting. I just got finished with the Foundations webinar too. So the meeting was kind of like a recap of everything I learned on there. Really focusing on my story and my why, I realized is something that I've not been very honest and upfront with my customers with. So I feel like doing that's really going to help make people more vulnerable to me, as well as me making myself vulnerable to them, which is a big thing I learned from the meeting. I also learned, which I'm so excited about, is taking my hostesses through the prosperity circle, helping them set a vision, and then getting them really excited and just kind of working them through that. Because I feel like if I can do that, then they're going to be just as excited as I am to come help them. And it's going to draw energy from their friends, and then they're going to want to come and all that good stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Katie. I love that you had a big aha at the meeting, that you absolutely need to be more vulnerable with your customers and share the real reason why you wild tree. And I think that if we can be a little bit vulnerable at our workshops or tastings or whatever event you're at, I think you can really start resonating. It will resonate with somebody other than just one or two other people in the room. It's going to resonate with more people. And even if it's not something that they are connected to, if they feel like your story is from the heart and powerful, you're just going to be more likable. They're just going to be more attracted and drawn to you. It's going to be that pull energy that you really want instead of that push energy. If you just say you came to Wild Tree to buy taco seasoning at a discount, everyone in the room might go ha 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 and laugh, but that doesn't really help them get to know you and who you are and why this business is something that makes you want to wake up and do Wild Tree every day. So I love that you shared that. And Katie, I love that you shared that you've done the webinar training and you came to the live training. Would you say that it is most beneficial to do both? You can be honest.
I would definitely say so. I feel like every time it's kind of like every time I watch my favorite movie, every time I watch it, I find something new in it. Mm-hmm. And that's how I kind of felt like with doing the online trainings and then coming to the live training. I feel like each time I took something different from it, mm-hmm. or found something more in it than I did the first time.
Right. So. Yeah, I love that. I agree with you, but I don't want to be the only one saying that because I'm the only one ever saying you should do everything. So I have personally heard this training, oh my gosh, in the last year, probably not every part of the training, but I'd say for the most part, a lot of this training, probably 6 times now. And this time was probably my favorite time of all, because finally it all started to match with exactly what I'm doing and how we're trying to move our businesses forward. And it all finally all the pieces finally clicked for me. And I cannot wait for my next workshop, and I can't wait to work with my next hostess so that I can take everybody through the prosperity circle And it's just really, really a cool thing. It finally has sunk in with me. And maybe some people are really way more smarter than I am, and maybe you only need to hear things a couple of times. But I really do believe that this kind of training, it takes practice and it takes time over and over, hearing it over and over again. So I really thank you for sharing that, Katie. All right, Ashley, can you share some of your takeaways?
Yes. So I was a lot like Katie. I think that I was doing a lot of the what in my parties, which was not super meaningful, and not the why. So being there on Saturday made me realize the whole prosperity circle is very empowering and very meaningful to me. So I've kind of gone through, I listened to Mandy O'Halloran's business builder call twice Sunday because I had a workshop last night, and I wanted to make sure that I could find my own vision and kind of truly work through the prosperity circle. And I've kind of looked at my big things in my life and things that kind of impacted me, things that I was super successful with, and just kind of pinpointed how it works through the prosperity circle. And it's so true. All the things that I was super successful at, I completely followed through and worked through the prosperity circle. The things that I had the huge, enormous dream and those visions and the goals that I wanted, there was always some breakdown in my circle that I didn't quite meet the goals or didn't make the end result that I wanted. So I think for me, I always have, and even speaking with you on certain instances, I always have that huge, big dream and goal and want, but I'm always in my own way. And I know the work that needs to be done. So I'm now trying to break down in small segments and power hours and find my vision and know that I can't do it all at once, but if I can just do it in small little segments, that I will eventually get to the end result. So I listened to Mandy's business builder call twice in the past 24 hours, and I had a workshop last night. Long story long, only 3 of the people showed up. Everybody else that was supposed to come to the tasting didn't, but I booked a workshop out of it. I had another woman that bought a bundle, and I have another woman that's tentatively has a tentative date set for in January. So it was a pretty successful night for me.
Good.
So
yeah, with 3 people,
moving forward,
awesome.
It just kind of gave me the hope and the will to know that I can do it and just to keep on keeping on. So I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. And that anybody can listen to those foundations training and go to this. It's amazing. $30 was, I was telling Julie tonight, $30. I mean, I could have paid $100 for this training, and it wouldn't have done it justice.
Yeah. Yeah. Alicia put her heart and soul into that training. It was awesome.
Amazing.
It was awesome. So I thank you so much for sharing, Ashley. I'm so glad you already got to put the work into practice at a workshop already. And she made such a good point about listening to Mandy O'Halloran's call. The first part of it, for those of you that have heard the Prosperity Circle before, it's going to be like total review for the first 20 minutes or so. So you just have to get through that. I encourage you to just not roll your eyes, because it will be total review and you'll be like, yeah, got it. But it gets real meaty after that. It gets really, really into exactly how to run your workshop step by step through the Prosperity Circle up until from beginning to end. And I love that because Leisha took us through that, but I feel like Mandy even kind of dug a little bit deeper even with every single point through the workshop, like going literally from the second you walk in the door to the second you leave. So be sure to listen to the questions at the end of her call too, because people ask some really good questions and she answers them really, really well. And the very, very beginning of her call too is really good because she does share her story. And then later on, she breaks down her story and how it follows the breakthrough impact. So you can really learn a lot from that call. So I encourage you all to listen to that. And then, Ashley, I really like that you have really reflected on the Prosperity Circle and where it's worked in your life and where it hasn't, because we've all taken ourselves through it at some point in time. And you have to figure out where you're always getting stuck. If you're kind of stuck in your business or kind of wanting to push your business forward, you have to figure out where you're stuck. Do you forget to start with vision? Do you not put in the work? Are you not analyzing what's working and not working? So you always have to see where you're kind of lacking in that prosperity circle, and that's usually the thing that solves the problem, or the thing that allows you to become very successful. And Ashley, I encourage you and everybody on this call I love the prosperity circle, but it doesn't always have to be so big. When you're thinking about the prosperity circle, it can be for every single little thing you do that you want to be successful at. So let's say you just have a goal of making your 10 calls tomorrow. How many of you would love to do that? Like, raise of hands. I think we all would. Like, okay, so we're going to set the vision for that. You know, what's it going to be like? Where are you going to sit in your office? Are you going to have a cup of coffee in your hand? Are you going to sit outside because it's going to be a nice day? Are you going to do it at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock? Or what time are you going to make that call, or those calls? And then you need to, why are you making the calls? Obviously, to move your business forward and try to get, just be of service to your customers. And then you need to get excited about making those calls. And while those calls suck, and I will be the first to admit they aren't exciting, you need to get excited about it somehow. So maybe you need to text your upline leader that you're about to make your calls. Is she going to make her calls? You need to have a buddy system when it comes to this business. I've said it 1,000 times, this business takes a village. You can't just sit alone and try and do this business. So get a buddy involved, get a few buddies involved. Who's making their calls today, and what time is everybody going to make their calls? And then you have to actually do the work. You have to sit down and actually make your calls, okay? And then you have to do the emails that after you do the calls. And then you need to analyze, was that a really good time for me to make my calls? Did I have time to email afterwards? Does emailing right after work for me, or do I like to email later when the kids are in bed? Or should I be making my calls at 9 o'clock? Would I get a hold of maybe a few more voices? Or did 4 o'clock work better for me? You know, you just have to, that's the whole analyze part. So you can take yourself through the prosperity circle for every little task or in this business or anything in life. I was telling somebody today, you can take your kids through the prosperity circle when they have a big test coming up, or if they're learning to potty train, or if they are, you know, whatever it is that you're wanting them to do or the goal that they need to meet, you need to teach your kids this amazing concept. So it's really, really awesome. So thank you so much, Ashley, for sharing that. All right. Now we've got Melissa's turn, and then I'll open it up for questions for all you. You there, Melissa?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm here. Okay. My connection's really bad, so bear with me. I really liked when they talked about it's like a circle with a little stick figure inside.
Oh.
And on the inside,
Hey, Melissa.
the information that you know on the edge of the circle is the information. Can you hear me?
No, we're having trouble hearing you.
Oh, sorry.
I wonder if you called in?
I thought it was me.
No. You all thought it was pretty sketchy. I mean, it was telling me that her bandwidth.
Yeah, let me do that.
Okay. All right. Who has questions for Ashley or Katie so far?
Hey, I have a question. My baby just started crying. How do I mute myself?
How do you mute yourself?
Yes.
Let me see here.
Or do you want to just mute me, and I can let you know when to unmute me? I'm just going to try and go pop
Yeah.
up.
What are you? The 859 number?
No, I'm a 502-608.
Okay, I'll mute you. I can mute you.
Okay.
Okay. You're muted.
I have one more thing to add.
Okay.
I do want to say that another really good thing was the whole meaningful conversations. So important. It's been so impactful not only in my business but in my personal life. And I feel like every time I've heard it and every time I've learned it, it's gotten better at it, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
So I just think that's an amazing tool, and that will really help you grow your business with so many levels and your own personal life too.
I think that one takes almost the most practice out of all of them. At least for me, I'm a talker, and I love to relate to people, and I love to keep the conversation moving, and I hate awkward pauses. And I think that is something that a lot of people struggle with, especially since most of us, especially on this call, are pretty outgoing. It's just learning to just say, oh, wow, tell me more about that. I know that somebody asked at the meeting, what do you do in a conversation when somebody says, oh, I have a second grader? And you go, oh, cool. Now, where do they go to school? And they say, oh, Sims Elementary. And then what activities does your second grader do? And you almost lead them down a path of conversation that maybe they didn't really even intend to go down, but because you keep asking question after question, you've led them down a path where they don't really get to empty their cup, which is why when you're talking to people, it's important to just zip your lips and just nod and listen and ask more about what it is they are talking about. Oh, you have kids. Oh, cool. Tell me more about that. And then they can lead the conversation the way they want it to be led versus you leading the conversation. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
That was a huge aha for me at the meeting. So thanks for bringing that up, Katie. That's something that I think we all need to remember to practice in our personal life, because if you can't do it with your family, there's no way you can do it with a group of workshoppers or people at a tasting party. So, maybe our homework for the next week is to do this with your husband and kids for a week, and we can report back here next week and see how that goes. Because if you can't do it with them, then you can't do it at a party.
Yeah.
Let's see if Melissa's back on. Are you on, Melissa?
I am.
Oh, we can hear you a little better, I think.
Oh, good.
Go ahead.
Okay. So what I was talking about, I don't know what it's called, but there's a circle with you inside it, and the information on the inside of the circle is information that you know that you know. Information on the edge of the circle is information that you know you don't know, like how to fly an airplane. I know it's done. I don't know how. And then the information on the outside of the circle is information I don't know. I even don't know, that it's so far out of my realm of knowledge that I don't even know it's there. And I liked that because it kind of shows that you're not supposed to know everything, and not everybody knows everything. And you as you learn things, you move information from outside the circle into the circle with you, and it becomes information that you know, and that takes time. And so giving yourself grace as you learn how to be a wild tree rep, and also giving your customers grace when they don't show a lot of interest the first time around or don't order anything the first 3 times they come to an event, because they're still moving that information into their circle. And I thought that was really good. Another piece, well, hold on, my notes are actually on my phone, so hold on.
Here's a picture of what she's talking about, a circle with X's and you in the middle. This is all the stuff in the middle. Oh, I didn't put X's there, but all the stuff you know, but don't know is on this side, and then all the stuff you don't know is the little X's out here.
And then I took a lot of notes on the beginning of the party, when you kind of give your why and the timeline of it, letting, and actually my last two are combined, the timeline of talking to people at the beginning and letting them empty their cups so that emotionally they have room for you to give them new information and to bring up, you know, how stressful dinner is and, you know, like all of this, you know, after their long day at work, you know, they're already emotionally tapped. And if you let them vent to you and give them time to vent to each other, then they have emptied out some of that stress and they have room to receive new information. And then making your story personal so that, like you said, Maria, you're not just saying, I'm here for a discount on taco seasoning. You know, you say why personally in your own life Wild Tree is important and why you decided to become a rep. And I've seen that already where when I get really passionate about it, people respond to it. And they respond to that more than me telling them about a half price bundle. You know, they respond to the personalization of it. And then the idea that we're here to serve, we're here to provide a solution to an issue they already have. And they know they have that issue. They just don't know how perfect a solution Wild Tree is. And so presenting that solution to them, and then it's up to them to take it or not. And if they decide not to, that it's not personal against me. And I struggle with that. I'm getting better because I realized what I was doing. But it's hard when they say no and they have no interest to not take it personally because it's something I am so excited about.
Right.
But remembering that it's not personal, you know, maybe they're not into the middle of the information circle yet. Or maybe they never will be. Maybe they really don't, they are not ever going to be interested, and it doesn't matter. It's not personal to me. And so it doesn't need to take any of the wind out of my sails.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, Melissa, thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything else?
I think that was most of it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. That is amazing. You actually probably just told everybody all of my takeaways personally. I couldn't agree with you more on all of that. I think that the circle framework never really, I always, whenever we talked about the circle framework, again, she's talking about the circle framework where, you know, people don't know what they don't know, okay? Obviously. I always thought of that very personally, like when it came to this type of training. And I always thought, oh, that they're teaching us this so that we are able to take in new information so we can learn the prosperity circle and we can learn, you know, meaningful conversations and all these other frameworks. But I had a huge aha at the meeting on Saturday in that we actually need to know the circle framework because our customers are the people that don't know what they don't know. They don't even know that direct sales could be such a great solution for them. They don't know that, you know, the half off bundle could really save them time and money in the kitchen. They don't know that our products are taste amazing. For example, some of them have never even tried it before. Some of them don't even know that these meals are going to truly help them and save them on the busy nights that they have soccer. So they don't know what they don't know. And in order for them to get that information, like Melissa said, and in order for it to digest in their brain, they have to empty their cup first. So it's so important to remember that and then not take it personally when somebody's like, I don't want to join your team, or no, why would I want to book a party at? They either don't know what they don't know, or they're genuinely just not ready, and we have to come from an absolute place of service. Maybe having people over to their house is just really the wrong thing for them right now. We don't know what's going on at home in their personal life. We don't know anything about those people in regards to that. So We absolutely have to just come from a place of service and listen to them and meet them where they're at. That doesn't mean you just want to walk away from your parties without bookings, but you have to have that conversation to even know where they're at. And just come from a place of absolute gratitude and service. You should be so thankful that every guest has even decided to join you at a workshop, because that's a leap of faith right there. And just be so grateful that they are now your customers. So when they see how service-based we are, that will just be more pull energy, and it will attract them to do more. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. You know, I wrote down on my takeaway, like at the top of my paper, how can I serve my hostesses, customers, and teammates? You know, how can I best serve you? And that goes for all of you. You know, I am here to serve you. I'm not here to get the next promotion. I'm not here to make sure I make every penny off of you. And I think another leader said it on another call, like another business builder call. We aren't here to promote ourselves. We're here because and helping you all, because we know as leaders how awesome it is on the other side, going from rep to leader, not for financial or personal gain. And I really hope you all truly believe that, because I just love seeing people grow because of the joy and happiness it brings them. And some people have to take a break from Wild Tree, and that's okay too. Any other notes from the weekend, or anybody have questions for Melissa? All right. Well, I will open it up to, I do want one other person to talk, Maria Hayden. I want her, if she's still here, I want her to chime in, because she had a great 15 or 12 person workshop the other day. And she actually was able to listen to Mandy's call right before the workshop and, you know, take her group through the Prosperity Circle. And she had a really great, successful workshop. Abby Leffert, are you on? I don't know if she's on mute or not, but she had a great tasting party the other day, and I wanted her to share too, if you guys are on and willing to share.
I'm here.
Okay, good.
I'm not quite sure where to begin. I
Just
had
a highlight or two.
Yeah, I think the most important part of Mandy's call that I really listened to, that I really applied at the workshop, was just my why, obviously, but really focusing on everyone else first, and really getting everyone, like for my host, asking her the first question of, why did you decide to host? Why did you decide to share this? Because I remember her at the first workshop when she decided, she was so excited. And I wanted everyone to feel that. And I knew that, I mean, this was a host. She didn't think she was going to get 4 or 5 people. And here she ended up with 15 people. And so it was, I know that was through her excitement why people were coming, you know. And so anyway, so she shared that, which was really good. It kind of got the energy going. Then we went around the circle, and you know, before the workshop, or before we started officially, we've been talking kind of, I forget who was talking about that, you know, they kind of able to leave kind of their thought, what am I trying to say, like they were, yeah, they empty their cup, and they were able to listen. So as everyone was going around the room, everyone's kind of like feeding off of one another. Oh yeah, like, and some dogging on the husbands went on, but it was good. Like, it was just a really good kind of atmosphere of, you know, what are the real struggles like? And anyway, it was just really, it was really almost like a team building. And so then they were just like chomping at the bit to get started and just really excited to even share. And I think the best part of one of the other good parts of Mandy's call was how it's not about the checkout when you're listening to people. You're listening to people during the workshop and before. And that's what I did. I was able to go around. Now, I will say I did not like that big of a workshop because I didn't have enough time. I had to start my checkout early to be able to get everyone through. And I did not like that because I felt like, I definitely got to know people, but it wasn't to the extent that I wanted to make connections. So that was kind of my takeaway from that. But I'm excited for my next smaller workshop. I've got one next week with, there's like 2 or 3 people who are going to be there who are signed up so far. And I'm so excited for that one because I feel like I can really, hone in on that prosperity circle. And
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing that. I think your point of getting that host really, really excited. I mean, if you can start off your workshop with that much energy, with a really excited host, and get her to share why she had the workshop to begin with, it kind of sets the tone for everybody, and how that group's going to respond. And then they start to feed off of one another. And if you can really set that tone right from the get-go, it's going to help so much. And I love what you said about the energy, and I don't know if you have music playing at your workshop, but
I forgot. No, I didn't. It was loud enough.
People that I'm sure it was loud enough.
Yeah. Well, in full disclosure, I will say there was a lot of drinking going on too.
Yeah.
So,
that always helps.
Yeah, that kind of replaced the music.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I must say I had a team meeting here a couple weeks ago, and we everybody came into the room. I forget if I shared the story or not. People started to arrive, and they kind of got there before I think I was cleaning up the kids from dinner, and everybody started arriving. And in my head, I kept thinking, I got to go put the music on. I got to put the music on. I got to put the music on. And finally, everybody was standing around. It was so quiet. It was so annoying. I could have heard nails down a chalkboard scratch. I mean, it was so just like everybody was just kind of standing there. I put the music on. I was like, everybody started talking. People wanted to pour themselves a glass of wine, and everybody was all happy, and everybody was excited to be there all of a sudden. It was like, I don't know. It just proved my point of the music. That's what I'm trying to say. So always have music. Breaks the ice a little bit. But if you have a 15-person workshop where they're all drinking wine, Maria was smart. She had them get there at 6:30 and start arriving at 6:30 and get their wine and food and greetings and stuff, and the workshop started at 7. So then she was out of there by what, 9:30?
9:30, the last person left. I was able to close out the party. My host had all of her order ready, and we actually closed it out last night.
That's awesome.
Good. Yeah.
So something to think about as far as timing goes.
That was good.
And I don't think Abby's on. She had a really good tasting party. Wow, like an $800 tasting. No, now it's up to $900 or $1,000 tasting party. Yesterday morning, she called it Mom's Mimosas and I don't know, meeting or something. I don't know, Moms and Mimosas or something like that. And she really went out of her comfort zone and invited tons of people that she would never have invited before, people that she barely knew at the school. And she had about half the people brand new, and then half the people were just like her awesome customers that came. And it was from 10 to 12 in the morning, and all the moms got out of there and did their carpool and whatever, and she served breakfast foods and had a great time. So I wanted her to be able to share, but I don't think she was able to be on tonight. So anyways, those are some of the successes from you all this week. Anybody else have anything they want to share with the group? Because we're going to get cut off here in 2 minutes.
Do you want me to share a little bit about 10 calls a day?
Oh, yes. Yes, thank you, Jacqueline.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was talking to Maria today, and I feel like for the first time in 2.5 years, I have a calendar that looks like I want it to look like. I have like 8 events in October scheduled, and I'm having to turn away people right now who are finally getting back to me and saying, oh, I'm ready to book. And that date is gone now. And I don't have any, I need to move them to November and December, hopefully, before I push them out to January. But we were talking, and I really think it has so much to do with, again, for the first time in the 2.5 years with Wild Tree, that I've been really consistent with my 10 calls a day. I've always tried, and I've always done some form of reaching out and some form of, I'm never totally leaving things on the table, but I wasn't consistent. It was just, I would get back to people when I could, or people who were always on my mind. But I think I have my sheets here of 1, 4, I'm on my 5th, 10 weeks. I've been doing 10 calls a day for 10 weeks. And there's been a day here and there when I didn't get to all of them, or even when I was on vacation and I crossed them out on purpose. But I just have seen this really consistent change in my business in the last week based on the 10 previous weeks of 10 calls a day. So it's like 10 whole weeks, and now I'm seeing the fruit of it. And some of it's been really fun. I mean, what you're talking about, like getting, you can kind of do it in your 10 calls and in your reaching out via email and stuff. And I've been getting to know people a little bit better. A lot of these people are people I'm meeting on Facebook, and I don't know them very well. So it's taking a little bit longer. But I think Melissa was saying, like, that some of the things that they don't know what they don't know, and coming from a place of service, I'm really trying to do that in my calls too. So it's hard in calls and emails and texts, but trying to do that.
That's awesome. No, do you guys hear that? 10 weeks. 10 weeks. This girl has been plugging away at her phone, and she's now got the calendar she wants. You are not going to start your 10 calls a day tomorrow and have a amazing booked October. That's just the bottom line. It's not going to happen. So you just have to keep doing it, and every day do it, because Jacqueline's got the biggest vision for her business. She has goals, and she's going to crush them, and she's going on the trips, and she's going to get the next promotions, and she's building an amazing community.